Hello, my fellow nerds, and welcome to the Nerd Empire. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today, and I hope you all will enjoy today's reaction video. With that being said, let's get right into it, shall we? Alright, the next one we got here. This one is by Hero Hey. This is another good VTuber we have here. Hero Hey. This one is called She Harassed Japanese Workers and Lost Everything. Average of 170 people on the Discord during the day. Yeah, that's a lot. Hero Hey video. Good narrative, and I like that there are moments where Lady Wasabi's sword has some weight to it.
So we have a little update on the Katrina Lewandowski / Ben Diskin Capcom SAG-AFTRA union situation that I reported on extensively on March 14th. Look at this. Ya boys even over here on Twitter.com trending. Wow. Game localizer Katrina L's Blue Sky account suspended after backlash. Oh, spoiler alert. That's part of today's update. Yeah.
Oh, I heard that she was making trouble for the Japanese.
She got suspended on Blue Sky. Let's take a look at what the...
Wow, somebody got suspended on Blue Sky? And it was a pink-haired Karen? That's surprising.
Trending tab has to say here. On March 10th, Lena Dakis posted on X calling fans to email, comment, and call companies to demand union voice actors and improved translations. Obviously, they're not actually improved, but sure. And this was not actually on X either. She posted on Blue Sky, of course. Continuing. YouTuber Hirohei highlighted it on March 14th, sparking criticism from opponents of Western localization changes who accused her of promoting harassment against Japanese developers. Yeah, she quite literally was, by her own admission on Blue Sky. By March 16th, her Blue Sky...
I don't like how some dub translators are sort of changing the stuff that goes on with the anime and things. I want them to stay more true to what they're actually saying and everything instead of trying to put in their own bullshit into it. But it's just a lot of the Western people like to put their own shit into things, their political views and whatnot, and just change what they're actually saying to match more of what they think instead of staying true to what the Japanese had them as. Blue Sky fired the Karen president on Women's Day and replaced her with a dude. It's why I stick to fan translations for shit.
Account showed a suspension notice with some users celebrating amid debates over fair labor versus faithful translations in gaming. Neither Blue Sky nor Lena Dakis has commented officially.
Yeah, I would like them to, stick to faithful translations than anything else, because I don't care what your views are, what you think or anything. Just stick with just be faithful to the translations, please. Don't fuck with the anime. Now I wish I was in the Skybrowse DC to keep track of everyone's new releases and to chat outside of YouTube and streams. I just keep track on YouTube, basically.
Well, of course, Blue Sky is not going to comment on this. And Lena Dakis, she's long since locked her Twitter account. I think she locked it down like over a year ago. So if she's going to comment on this, maybe she's going to reactivate her Twitter or something. That hasn't happened yet, though. That's true. So far, radio silence. But of course, it's not like she can post on Blue Sky anymore either. Currently suspended and all that, which is probably devastating news for her. It's probably like her favorite website. So what a shame. Now there is...
It is the favored website for a lot of Karens and, left-leaning and blue-haired people and those with septum piercings, the mentally ill and retarded. It's their favorite cesspool. What they don't understand is that we like the story the creator made and not some rando who walked in from a shady alley. Yes. The other thing is I wish a lot of them would stay true to the manga or the light novel. But, they don't. The fan translators for the Irumakun manga is way more accurate than the official. The anime is a little off here and there too, but Iramakun. Oh, is that the Iramakun, the one that goes to the demon school? It's like you're welcome to Demon Academy, Iramakun, or something like that. Because if that's the one, I want those two to get the fucking. I am waiting for I can't remember the Fox girls' names, but I am waiting for those two to finally fucking confess to each other. I'm getting so annoyed that they haven't. Welcome to Demon School, Iramakun. Yeah. I'm getting so annoyed that they haven't confessed to each other yet, even though it is blatantly obvious they love each other. Although the recent 8 chapters were actually quite surprising. I was surprised to find out her origins.
Actually, even more updates than her getting suspended on Blue Sky, as people in Japan have found out about what she was saying. So the situation is blown up even more than summarized right there. And let's run through the order of events really quick to see how this is all unfolding. As mentioned, it begins with my video on March 14th, titled English VAs and Localizers Just Went Full Mask Off. We'll take a look at like the first 10 seconds from the intro of that video. It's important context for what follows. Here we have infamously corrupt localizer Katrina L advocating for her couch activist buddies over on Blue Sky to call up and harass Japanese companies to try to force them to use union actors and localizers like her. The entitlement from these people is insane. The next day, on March 5th,
just because you want them to do something doesn't mean they're going to do it. The Japanese will do what they want with the stuff that they came up with. You can't make them do what you want. You can't strong arm or bully them like you can do here in America. The Japanese will do what they want and how they want, regardless of what you fucking think. It'll be the year 2045 before they get to animating these current chapters. Yeah, it'll be a while.
15th, Permaban had tweeted about this, saying, infamous localizer Katrina went mask off on Blue Sky and declared that people need to bully Japanese companies until they hire their ilk of localizers and union VAs to only contract them. How moral and good of them. Of course, she only has the courage to say that on Blue Sky. Japanese politician Zenko Kurishita, who even served as a member of the assembly multiple times, saw that post about Katrina and even commented on the situation, and specifically saying they incited fans to quote-unquote bully the company and incited a boycott on social media. If an employee did this in a Japanese company, it wouldn't be surprising if the company took some kind of disciplinary action.
Oh, he'd be let go instantly.
He followed that up with this post that reads, "This could pose a threat to Japanese content companies. They should implement risk management measures." And so at this point in time, she had not yet been suspended on Blue Sky yet. A few hours before she got suspended, I actually noticed that on her Blue Sky account, she was trying to run damage control, which takes us to my tweet about said damage control, as Katrina had posted this, once again, mere hours before she got suspended. "Hello, friends. Yearly reminder, do not engage or reply to trolls or harassment. Ignore, block, and if it's particularly targeted or vile, report. And remember, they don't particularly care about translation, localization, or dubbing. They just want to quote-unquote own the libs." It's actually astonishing how bad her points are. Like, dude, she was literally the one advocating to harass Japanese employees. But now she's crying about harassment because people are criticizing her post that was actually advocating for harassment. And then she talks about, like, oh,
everything needs to happen to thee, but not to me. If it happens to them, it's okay. But if it happens to me, oh no, the world is going to end. We need to stop this. You shouldn't be bullying. Maybe you shouldn't incite this shit, you dumb fat bitch.
just block them and report them. The irony of that, too, considering that she's the one that actually got suspended for her advocating to get people harassed. And then there's the second part of her damage control, trying to lie about people, saying they just want to own the libs. They don't really care about translation or localization. So yeah, that's obviously ridiculous. People are not just trying to own the libs. when they're calling out corrupt localizers and how they butcher the source material. At this
It's not really hard owning the libs because all you need to do is use actual logic, and their entire platform falls apart.
point, it's been going on for well over half a decade that localizers have been getting caught, like I just said, abusing the source material. So she wants to turn around and be like, oh, they just want to own the libs. As mentioned, that's a ridiculous lie. It is pathetic on her part to try and spin things that direction as she pushes that agenda on her Blue Sky account, desperately trying to run damage control because she got caught advocating to have people harass Japanese employees. By the way, really funny that the people who claim on social media to care about labor are in actuality trying to harass labor, you know, very hypocritical, but that's a recurring theme with these sort of people. They're hypocrites, they have no self-awareness, and they love to harass others. Then when they get criticized for what they do and the harassment that they bring onto others, they turn around and try to play victim. It's a tale as old as time. We've seen this happen over and over again, and it never ceases to be.
I didn't realize that you were starting to stream when you popped in. I was already streaming when I popped in. I just wanted to pop in and, you know, say that to Feeble.
Immensely pathetic. The last thing to say about this really quick is once again where Katrina said, quote, they just want to own the libs, unquote. That premise to begin with is an accidental self-report that EN localizers like Katrina are in fact shoving their political brain rot into the source material. That is the only way she would ever even correlate the criticism to her claim. Now, of course, we already knew all that, but it's funny seeing that she's accidentally going further mask off here without even realizing it. And so sure enough, a few hours after that post is made, and as you of course know because we've said it multiple times in the video now, she ended up getting suspended on a Blue Sky. Now, as this situation with Katrina went viral on Twitter the last few days, it's important to remember that this entire situation involves a lot more than Katrina, and I've seen a lot of like large accounts on Twitter talking about this, really tunnel visioning the Katrina stuff. And some of these large accounts don't seem to realize that this entire situation's actually even worse than just the Katrina portion, because going back to my March 14th video, English VAs and localizers just went full mask off, I showed you how Katrina's post was actually in response to VA Ben Diskin. Now, just for posterity, clearly the one in the middle, like me in the middle, that's from March 14th. Me on the side, this is real-time March 17th now, just so no one's confused. But like I was saying, Katrina's post was actually in response to news about VA Ben Diskin, who was upset with Capcom because Capcom would not sign a union agreement with SAG-AFTRA, and he seems to have stepped down as the VA for Mega Man because he was mad that Capcom wouldn't sign said union agreement with the notoriously corrupt union SAG-AFTRA. And so he went on to post about this, an entire thread he made on Blue Sky that I covered, and Katrina actually saw that post, and that's what spurred her to make her own giant thread on Blue Sky complaining about this stuff, and that ultimately concluded.
Well, this Katrina is a disaster. She's named after a natural disaster, and she turned out to be a disaster.
With the now infamous post of her advocating for people to harass Japanese companies into trying to force them to sign union agreements with SAG-AFTRA. So while I completely...
I find it really sad that the only way these people can really try and get their way is to just go and bully the ever-living shit out of said company or person or whatever, because they have no other way of getting what they want. So their only solution is to act like a fucking child, throw a tantrum, and harass people until they get what they want, because they don't know how to be a mature adult and try to go about this fucking logically, or just accept the fact that they're just not going to get what they want.
I understand that it's highly amusing seeing Katrina's involvement here and how everything, you know, backfired on her, how she found out so quickly. It is important to remember that there is a larger context here involving Ben Diskin, Capcom, and how it all circles once again back to the notorious union SAG-AFTRA and their union members over on Blue Sky, just like we saw during the Hoyoverse failed strike of 2025. Or I suppose it would be more accurate to call that the Union VA harassment campaign of 2025. In closing, it was a little bit tricky for me to make this video because there was a lot of context I had to provide while also trying not to be too redundant for people that already saw the March 14th video. So hopefully I found that balance, but to be quite frank, I kind of struggled finding that balance today. Hopefully it worked out though. If not, if anyone's confused or anything like that, my bad. I should have done better if so. But that's where we are. So let me know what you think about the latest. As always, thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely week. I'll see you next time.
How dare you abuse me, Delvanus? How you doing? Alright, yeah, it's just... People are so fucking dumb. You are lucky enough to be a voice actor in an anime. Be happy with that. Or a video game. Be fucking happy with that. You're getting paid to do something that's awesome. Quit acting like a fucking child. Well, that is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give a like and subscribe. I post videos 3 to 5 days a week here. I also post videos over on my other channel for gaming as well. So please make sure to give that a look-see. See if you enjoy that as well. I also stream anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week as well. Links to all my social medias will be on my YouTube page. And with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.